Not smooth.
Okay.
Yeah. It might tell me that I don't need to wear red and black checks when I see myself on the podcast.
You think
that I'm going to look like a bull or something. Oh, goodness. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Not House podcast. I'm Heather, and this is Mom. Cathy, otherwise known as Mom. And what number is this, Mom?
I didn't look.
32?
32 or 30?
I think it's 32. Does it really matter?
Doesn't really matter.
It's the last podcast of 2019.
It is the last podcast of 2019. That we're sure
That
of.
we're sure of. Yeah, we will not be doing another podcast before the end of the year. So.
No.
But we did want to jump in real quick and say happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and whatever it is you celebrate. We have some things to talk about.
Just a few, so it won't be...
Mom has an announcement that she's going to make, but I don't know when she's going to do it. So you'll want to make sure that you either watch this through the whole thing until you hear her announcement, or hop around until you hear her announcement. So you want to talk about our cards first?
Is that one of those times where if you say it, it makes it real?
Well, that's what you and I talked about before.
All right. So we've gotten a couple of really nice Christmas cards. We got one from London today.
She was so happy about it.
I was. So it is from Ivan and Leff, and
we met Ivan and Leff with Christina when we were at Rhinebeck.
And he just says it was so lovely to meet you both in the cabin in the woods. And goes on. Just very nice.
Yeah, they're special.
They really are. Such nice guys. Leff made us a fire that was just absolutely gorgeous in the fireplace. Good times, good times. So that was one. We got one from my special friend, Jenny, that Cathy and Heather much love. Happy holidays. She came and visited
just
last week,
right?
Yeah, she did.
She got us tea too. Thank you, Jenny, for the tea.
Yes, thank you so much. All right, and then we got one from Lynn, and I don't know how you pronounce her last name. Kruk. Crook. Anyhow, we met Lynn at Christina's when we were there in November. And she says that she watches the podcast all the time. And now that we met in person, I feel like we're real friends. Well, we are real friends. And thank you so much, Lynn. You know, I haven't done Christmas cards in I don't know how long, but I definitely appreciate it when people send them.
Right. So you want to talk about, what do you want to talk about next?
Well, why don't we talk about the Colorshift?
Okay, so the Colorshift.
Yeah, let me move this one out.
Meg from Wool and Cookies was wearing the Colorshift at Rhinebeck, and everybody was, what's the name of that? What's the name of that? And then Christina from Chelsea Yarns had one done up, and we were working on one.
And Nana had one on.
And Nana had one on.
It was really pretty.
Right, and I think the thing that's fun about the Colorshift is you hold yarns together, and I think when you get to the bottom, you're holding four together.
So, and it changes needle sizes.
Right, so it goes kind of fast.
It was fast.
So just, I posted these on Instagram, I don't know, last week or something, but just to...
This week.
Was it this week? Mm-hmm. So I'll just show you the colors that we picked for this one. And of course the red was heavier at the bottom, and then lighter at the top. So these are Olann Singles, and I'll just list them off real quick, light to dark. Ponderosa is the lightest one. Dusk was next. And Sinach? Sionnach. Sorry, Jess, I don't know how to say all your fancy names. And Medici, Medici, is the real pretty red, kind of a brickish red color. So, yeah, I want to thank Barb and Carissa for finishing this for us. I think Barb worked it about halfway, and then Carissa took it and finished it the rest of the way.
Barb did probably more than halfway. It was just about that much that Carissa had to finish. Barb went to Disneyland and didn't want to.
So it's really pretty. It's just a rib, right?
Right. It's just a rib.
Knit 1 purl 1.
But then you start out holding 2, and then you end up with 4, and you start with maybe a 6 and end up on a 10.
On a 10. I just really like this red, how pretty it is. With like maybe if there was even a little bit more red. I picked out another color combo. I got Mom's approval for it, which is done in the greens, in the kind of a lavendery start. So I'll list these off just in case. So this is Zinnia, and it's a pretty kind of a neutral with some lavender and some dark blue in it. Then this is just a little bit deeper. This is called Guilt Trip. It's my kind of name. Just a little bit deeper color. And then we get to the bluish green. This is Quarry, which is everybody's favorite.
One of my very
we probably only
favorites
have
of her.
We probably don't even have that much of it left. And then this is Void, which is just the prettiest, deepest blue. Not quite teal, but not quite navy. Really, really
Very
pretty.
pretty.
So I just thought that would be pretty at the bottom. So that's that is a new sample in the shop. And then Mom's been working on some stuff. I've been working on some stuff.
Why don't you?
You want to talk about your hat? Let's talk about the hats first. So
Okay.
you talk about yours.
So this is the Oslo Hat by Petiteknit, mohair edition, and it's the baby hat, and it's done a little differently. It's one of the ones where you start out knitting and then you reverse it so that you can turn this up, and it kind of has a permanent fold up.
So it's not always something you got to fiddle with.
Right, it's there.
And that's a little. You said it was a little bit bigger.
It is a little.
It does look a little bit big for a baby hat. Now that I look at it.
It does look a little big for a baby hat, but we've got a great grandbaby coming. That's.
I don't have a great grandbaby. I have a grandbaby coming, not a great grandbaby.
I have a great grandbaby if she's got a grandbaby coming. It's a bigger baby.
Don't ask how that happens. I have stepchildren that are older.
Yes, it's not Lucas. So it was a fun knit, quick.
And was that your first petite knit pattern you've done?
It is the first petite pattern I've done. Yeah.
Okay.
But it was fun, quick.
And then I did one. Now this was kind of like an oldie but goodie. This is a tin can knit pattern. The pattern is called It's a Snap. It's a snap. I don't think this was a free pattern. I think it was a $5 pattern. But it gives you a lot of options of different weights to do with the yarn. So I used a bunch of scrap yarn, fingering weight that I had from God knows when. And I held 4.
I think you had 4.
I think I had 4 held together. So what I will say, so it tells you that you can use, 2 DKs, different ways. Let's see, it says 1 DK and 2 sock weight, 1 worsted, 1 sock, 2 lace. Anyway, so it gives you different ways of making the marled fabric. I will say that the 4 sock or the 4 fingering is very dense. I'm a little worried that it might be too dense, but hopefully it's warmer than it is dense.
Right.
Right?
And again, that's for a child.
Yeah, this is a child size, and they had it in all the sizes. And then I just used the same scraps and just made a little pom-pom Don't ask me how I did it. I just did a little cardboard pom-pom. It's a little floppy, but we decided that it was
We liked
cute.
it that way.
Yeah. So really, really quick. Oh, this one also you knit it and then you flip it out. So you just knit, but the way the pattern is all of your
It's reverse
it's
stocking.
reverse stockinette. So then you flip it the other way and weave in your ends. Am I spewing yarn from the pom-pom?
Just a little yellow.
So anyway, so there you guys go. See? And you can change up your colors however you want to. So that's that. And what else? So Mom has been working. Well, she's finished one thing, but we can't show it because we don't have it to show.
This is the new sweater that I'm working on.
She's quite excited about it. I came in this morning and she had the steamer and she's like, oh, look at it.
Well, it didn't look like a whole lot when I've been working on it, holding it up
On the needles?
on the needles. So I decided this morning before the podcast that I needed to put it on 2 needles and steam it a little.
So let's get it up here so they can see it as best as they can on the podcast.
Right. Now this, and I do not know how to pronounce it.
So is she a Japanese designer, Mom?
I think she's Japanese. Iri, Shimizu.
Okay.
So it's a little different.
So the name of the pattern, which I will put below in the notes, is spelled A-C-H, hold that up again, Mom, A-C-H-I-K, however that is.
So this is the name of it.
Yeah. Now, when you looked at this designer, has she designed a lot, Erie?
Yeah, she has several sweaters designs.
Does she?
Yeah, she does.
It's funny because it kind of has that Junko kind of look to it.
It does have a Junko kind of look to it, except the color work. She has done slip stitches.
Mm-hmm.
She's done texture and color work.
All in the same.
All in the same. So this gives it a woven look,
Mm-hmm.
and it was slip stitches. The beginning part here is slip stitches, and then there's a section here, and I know it's hard to see, and a section here that's textured. And this bottom row
That was supposed to be the texture.
was supposed to be textured, and I decided it didn't have enough color work in it. Imagine that.
So you just did.
I did this pattern that would have been textured, and I just did it as color work.
So does that mean then where there would have been a pearl, you used a color work stitch?
I did.
Is that basically what you did?
I did.
So you knitted just the opposite color, and then if there was a pearl, you used the dark purple.
Yes.
Okay.
I wasn't exactly sure when I was doing it how that was going to work.
Mm-hmm.
If it would show the design off well enough. But I think it does. I really like it. So I split for the sleeves last night and just started the body, and it has twisted stitches underneath the arms,
Mm-hmm.
and a small braid.
What's the braid for?
Well, it's cables, so it has a small one.
Oh, you mean
stitch
all the way down?
all the way down.
Oh, okay. I thought you just meant like under.
Under the arm?
Under the
No,
arm.
no. Under the arm coming down this way.
Okay.
It has got a 6-inch cuff,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to change it up just a little bit and have the cuff tighter
Mm-hmm.
than what she calls for. Has a little bit, probably it's slip stitches right before the cuff. So the cuff will be in the purple. It's all done in Vichy Bouche. I used the gray brown and dark violet blue.
Dark violet blue. That's the name of the color.
Mm-hmm. it's really purple, but
Yeah.
the name of the color is dark violet blue.
Okay.
So the cuffs and the bottom ribbing, is, I think, 6 inches too.
Oh, wow.
It's
oh, you really can't see it there in the picture, but now that I look at it, you can see it here a little bit on the side.
right.
So
There-
see the cuffs.
If you look
The
at
cuff
one of
is
the
blue.
other
And then
pages,
right there is the
it
side.
shows a picture of him, I think.
Yeah. You get to see all Mom's notes. But you can see that's the hem at the bottom.
So I'm really excited about it. I don't know if I was really excited this morning because it looks much better than it did before I steamed it.
Before you steamed it, everything kind of laid down.
Vichy Bouche is kind of that way because you can't, it's not that it doesn't have good stitch definition, but until it gets blocked, it's kind of, it just looks better. And I was excited that I made some changes to it.
Mm-hmm. And they turned out well.
Yes, I was pleased with that. So I'm excited.
So this is for you, right? You think you might have it ready for Vogue?
I'm going to try and have it ready for Vogue. I've only been working on it a week. Of course, I've done the fun part.
Well, I mean, you still have the cable on the side and in the...
And twisted stitches.
Yeah.
So there's 10 stitches there that the cable is inside of, 8 stitches, and it is twisted. So that's a little different too. She's got some really...
Now, tell me again what you did up here at the top. That was on top of the knitting that you did this?
No, those are slip stitches
And you slip them across?
with the yarn in the front.
Oh, not with the yarn in the back. Okay.
I had to have a 10:30 at night session with Carissa. What do they want me to do here?
Yeah, it's pretty though.
But otherwise, it's pretty straightforward.
So the pattern is written well?
It is. It confused me here with the woven stitches because they said contrasting color in front, and then it tells you to do the main color in back. Well, the main color in back, if the contrasting colors in front, is kind of intuitive. So that confused me.
She was stating the obvious. Yeah.
Yes. Even though she didn't tell you when you were doing your knits to take your contrasting color to the back, which was not as obvious. But anyway, after
Yeah, it's pretty.
I had my consult with Carissa, we figured it out.
It's pretty. It's going to be kind of light too because it's the Vichy Bouche.
Because it's the Vichy Bouche. I had a lady call me yesterday about, I think her name was Lori, about doing a wrap in the Vichy Bouche and wanted me to describe it. And I said it's warm, but it's very light. She goes, light and airy. And I said, well, I don't know that I'd call it airy, but it's light. It feels light. So
we picked out a couple of colors, color combos.
So you could do this.
We were talking about reversing it and having the light color be for the color work part and a darker color for the background.
You could, all of these colors we picked, you could do either way.
Either way.
So there is the dark violet blue, and the pink is just light pink. And you could do that either way.
Right.
You could do it the body pink, the color work purple, or you could do it purple with color work pink. And then this is a little lighter gray than what I'm using. And dark burgundy gray would be the contrast. And the other one is the light gray, is just called light gray.
These are all on the website though.
They are. And then we have got a white, and this is dark blue black. Now, the dark blue black, I don't have I've got a few skeins of it. Definitely enough if you were going to use it as your contrast color, but I've got the dark blue black and the black coming. Those were back ordered.
Oh, okay.
So as soon as she gets those, she will send those to me.
Yeah, pretty.
So, I mean, you could do any combination, I think, with it, as long as your color work shows up.
You just have to have enough contrast.
Right.
Yeah. Well, that's fun. I'm glad you're excited about it.
I am excited about it. And like I said, so my announcement is...
Oh, you're going to do it now?
That I've got all the books. Because, of course, I have to look like I can do it whether I can or not. I've got all the books, I got the graph paper, I've got everything. But I would like to start designing. And Heather said, well, you know, Mom, why don't you design a hat first? And
make a hat, design a hat in my yarn, Mom. It's just like, I don't want to do a hat.
I don't want to do a hat. Well, what about a cowl? I want to do a sweater. And I've got some pretty high standards to try to meet.
Lily Turner.
Blackthorn was Lily Turner's first, well, I don't know if it was her first design. It was her first published design.
Right.
And then Tweedside was her second, and she's been cranking them out. So, there's things that, of different styles that I've got in my head that I want to put together. So I'm kind of, of course I have to have the time to do that, which means you can't knit and design too.
Well, you can't test knit and design and,
Unless you're Caitlin Hunter, and then you just knit and design. In the movie theater.
Right. I saw that she posted that she was, I knit in the movie theater once, but I wasn't designing anything. I was probably just doing straight stockinette.
To me, it's like a talent, like being able to paint, and she does.
Yeah.
She does watercolors,
and Mom can't draw.
I can't draw.
I'm just telling you right now.
At
so
all.
It'll be interesting to see what you do. So, do you think you can get like your first one done in 2020?
Yes.
Oh, that was she was real sure of herself. Did you guys hear that?
Yeah, I can. I would like
maybe for Rhinebeck.
I'm not promising right now. You're not going to get that much of a commitment out of me. Most people sketch what they want to do. Well, I can't draw. So I just have got to use the graph paper and do it. So I'm going to. How about that? Not exactly sure, but it'll be color work.
It'll have to be color work.
It will. It will. One of Carolina.
Oh, that's right. Carolina started, and she's a new knitter. She actually learned to knit this spring.
I think so. So I was talking about designing, right? So what does she do? She comes in with a sample.
Like a little swatch type thing.
A swatch that she did in the round and says, what do you think about this? And I'm like, geez, oh Pete. Here I am. I got all the books. I've got all... She just, whips it out. So she's
doing what, a cowl or something?
She's doing a cowl. She's charted it. But she looked at me and she said, so could I use this motif in a sweater? And I said, well, you could, but you got to remember, it either has to be across the body where you don't have to do increases, or you've got to work some increases in if you're going to do it in the yoke. She looked at me and goes, yeah, okay. So, awfully proud of her.
Okay.
All right. So that's my announcement.
That's Mom's
I've said it,
announcement.
so that means it has to happen.
Okay. Well, we won't look for it on the next podcast.
No. There will be no progress reports on that.
So, I was going through some more old patterns, and I picked out one of Alicia Plummer's to start. Oh, you haven't seen it?
I haven't.
So yesterday when I was here, I had just had the ribbing done and stole the needles for the...
You didn't steal the needles.
I swiped them.
I gave them to you.
Mom gave me needles. I didn't have 7s in the right length. So anyway, so tell me what you think. I was worried about it being a little too tight. While she's looking at it, it's the Candleflame Cowl by, like I said, by Alicia Plummer. She made gloves to go with it, and I think this was 2 years ago. Let me see if there's a date on it.
I think it was 2 years ago.
I want to say it was 2017.
I do too.
She did it in Swift Cozy DK, I think, in a pretty orange color. And I've been wanting to do something in this Bubbly. So it takes 2 skeins of DK, and then I put mohair with it. The pattern does not have the mohair with it, which is why I was a little worried about it being too tight.
I don't think it's too tight. I like the...
You don't think it's too tight?
Because it will loosen up when you block it.
And I'll hold it up here.
Yes, sir.
So you guys can see the texture on it. So, can you guys see that? There you go. Now you can see it. So you do this till the whole piece measures 11 inches, and then you do the ribbing, and it should be like a medium-sized cowl, kind of like, well, you can see it there, how she's wearing it. It's not too tight, the way you just want to wear it under a coat. So I thought it would be a nice accessory piece. And I really haven't done anything with the DK and Holden mohair together. I've done it with sock, but not the DK, and it is so squishy. Now this stitch pattern is addictive because it's just 2 rows of slip stitch. You knit a stitch and then slip, or you purl a stitch and slip, and then you do 2 knit rows real fast all the way around, and then you repeat it again. So it's kind of fun, and yeah, so that's that. So hopefully this is probably what I'll be working on during Christmas, and then the next time we podcast, I'll have the finished product here. So
we're back.
Yep, we're open, so we just had a little interruption.
Excuse us.
So I just finished talking about the Alicia Plummer Candleflame Cowl.
I did want to say that I don't think that looks too tight. I think you need it to be that tight for the texture, to be able to see it.
Well, it's funny because when I first started it, you really have to do a couple of repeats before you can see it.
Yeah.
You know?
Slip stitches are kind of that way.
Yeah, but it is very squishy. And I am using the same color mohair, so it's blush for both. I mean, not blush. Well, yeah, the color's blush, but it's Bubbly is the name.
Right, for both.
So,
okay.
So that's that. And then...
You said you wanted to mention the Isabel Kramer hat.
Oh, I did want to mention the Isabel Kramer hat.
It's Leni, L-E-N-I.
And that is not a color work.
No.
But she's holding mohair with it. It's a fingering weight with a mohair.
And it is a free pattern.
Right. She just released that this week.
Yes. And Cheryl Faust just released a shawl using dyed in the wool.
I think it's called Destination Unknown.
It is. And
she used Brooklyn tweed and dyed in the wool.
She did. We have an order of Journey from Julie Oselin that is comparable to what she used in Brooklyn tweed. It's a merino and a targhee.
The Journey is.
The Journey is, yeah.
So let's talk about that for a minute then. So
it's a non-superwash.
Okay. You said that it comes in 50 gram.
It does.
Skeins, right?
It does. I believe it's sport weight, which means you could make it fingering sport, you know.
Which goes with the dyed in the wool.
Right.
Yeah.
It would. Matter of fact, Julie had told me that it went really well with dyed in the wool.
And you got all the colors?
I got all the colors of the Journey, and I've got a really good selection of colors in the dyed in the wool right now. So,
okay. So that's one good thing coming.
And we probably won't get it before Christmas, even though Julie said it's on the way. It probably will be between Christmas and New Year's.
Okay.
I don't know when you're going to get this up, but we will be open Monday. We're not usually open on Monday, but I'm going to be open Monday, and then Christmas Eve we will be open till 2 or 3 o'clock. And
it dies down downtown here.
Yes.
Usually by about 2 or 3 o'clock. Now we are going to have good weather though.
Yeah.
The weather is supposed to be great. for the next week.
And then we're also going to be open the day after Christmas, our regular hours. Somebody had called wondering if we were
Well,
going to
if
be...
you had anybody to do your social media stuff for you, they would be putting that up.
Well, you would think so, but you know, I'm not the best with social media, so I have to rely on somebody else for that.
Yeah. So Monday we're going to be open.
Yes.
Before Christmas, which is next Monday, and this will be up. Hopefully, maybe I can get it up tonight. I always say I'm going to get it up sooner than what I do, but this is a kind of a short one, so it'll be easy to do.
And I guess our next big event will be Vogue.
Yep, Vogue will be here.
Before we know it.
Yeah, the third week in January, and Mom and I are both going, and I believe I'm going to have some kits in the knitting place in her booth. I'm still working on that, so that'll be the announcement kind of thing that we do on the next podcast. I'll have more information about that and be able to talk about it more.
Okay.
But regardless, Mom and I will be tootling around.
I think we're going to take the train up early Friday morning.
Yeah, so we'll be there Friday, Saturday, and then are we staying Friday night and Saturday night?
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll come back Sunday morning?
Mm-hmm. Or Sunday sometime.
So anyway, hopefully we'll have good weather and it's not so freezing cold.
It was really cold last year.
It was cold last year, I remember.
But New York this time of year is always pretty cold.
Yeah, that's what makes New York winters the way they are, I guess.
It does. It does.
So I think that's everything.
I think that's everything. We hope everybody has a great holiday.
Yep.
A safe one. A happy one.
And a happy New Year too, or a safe New Year's Eve, because we won't do one until probably the first or second week in January.
Right.
So we're doing good. This will be like 1 in 2 weeks, 2 in 2 weeks.
I know.
Or 2 in a 3-week period.
I have a hard time knitting fast enough for all of that.
I know, me too.
But you've been doing good lately.
Yeah. Well, I haven't been having to dye up as much, so it's getting ready to kick in. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Again, you can find us at www.knothousyarns.com and
Knot House Yarns on Instagram.
Knot House Yarns on Instagram and the Knot House on Facebook.
Mm-hmm, I think that's right.
And we're on Ravelry too.
We are, Knot House.
So if you have any questions about anything that you saw on the podcast, call Mom. She loves answering her phone.
The phone's been ringing a lot. It's the reason why she says that.
So anyway, bye everybody. Thank you again for watching. We'll see you next year.
Thank you.
Bye. Where's our picture?
Oh. Maybe that's not a good
That's
one.
probably not a good one.
All right. You gonna lean
No,
in?
I'll just get one from what we've done. It's always the most genuine.
Right, with me going, woo!
While you were describing something, I'll get the one where you're going up and down the sweater.